was on.
You're doing good.
Okay.
Come on.
Okay.
You're doing good. It takes time. You're good.
What's up? We're in the heart of Brooklyn, across from Barclays Center. This is Conversations with Shaq Israel. I'm Shaq Israel, and today we have Monsieur Parie. But what can they call you? Can you explain?
Well, my name is Paris Warren, but you guys can call me Monsieur Parie because that is my brand name, and that is everything that all encompass who I am.
I love it. Thank you for coming here today. I'm going to get to know a little bit more about Paris, Mr. Warren. He has a lot on his plate, actually. I know him as, I want to say, visual genius, but under those...
That's big.
That's big. That's how I see it. That's how I see fate, I say. But can you explain to us, what is the title of Paris?
Well, Monsieur Parie is a storyteller, a creative, an artist, a stylist, a set designer, a costume designer. I am a lot of things.
Don't miss a beat. That's everything.
I'm a lot of things. So Monsieur Parie is this encompassed personality that is about freedom, liberation, and self-worth.
Self-worth, that's big today in these days, especially.
It is, yeah, it's super, super important. Self-worth and, self-perseverance and, self-determination. Yeah.
Love it. That's everything. Everything.
Being raised in Houston, like my earlier childhood, one of the biggest things that inspired me growing up was my grandmother and my mom. Particularly my mother. My mother had a certain way of going against the grain and doing whatever that she wanted to do when it came to dressing. And even though, my mother has 7 kids, you would not believe that my mother has 7 kids. And it was also had a lot to do with just who she was as a woman. She really inspired me growing up. And the tenacity that my mom had really she made me want to understand what it was like to be a girl, to be a woman, and what that actually meant like to be beautiful and what beauty actually looked like on the inside. So yeah.
Oh, I love that just because I feel like maybe I wasn't as open to being myself growing up, but I definitely grew into my own. I'll say that. It doesn't happen right away, I would say.
It doesn't happen right away, but also you have to have people around you that also inspire you to be yourself authentically, because I think that the world is always trying to get us to be someone else. So it's important to be around people that just love you and love you for being you in whatever capacity that looks like.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
So you said your mother had 7 kids. Was there a whole bunch of creativity running around?
What's interesting is a lot of the creativity didn't just come from my mom though. It came from my dad. My name is Paris Jr. For those that don't know, so I'm a junior as well. I would say that my father passed away 7 years ago. But my father was like a king. He was just amazing. He was everything to me. He was my mentor. He taught me how to be a man. He taught me to be this person, to go for what I want, to be resilient, to know that hard work is the only way to get what you want in life, that there's no shortcuts. He taught me so many things, and so it's just amazing to see how life is full circle, and I can live in this moment even after my father's passing, to say that I am building the legacy of something that he built and instilled in me when I was a kid. So it's amazing.
Okay. I feel the same way my father instilled that same kind of you're a man.
Most definitely, yeah.
But you still, obviously, you still be able to
for
be
sure,
yourself.
of course.
And just go back and know that my father always taught me.
Yeah, most definitely. How to keep me grounded, how to be that person, even when the world tells me no, because the world is always telling us no.
Always no.
Yeah.
That's alright though. It's absolutely okay.
For sure. Because again, don't pick me because I'm picking myself. Don't bet on me because I'm betting on myself. I think we have to put those positive, I think we have to put those positive things into the atmosphere as well. It's important to speak and breathe life over who you are and who you want to be, the things that you see. Not only for yourself, but the people that are around you as well. That's good. Well,
I want to go more into creativity. You are a creative.
Yeah, I'm a creative.
You said that. I want to know what your definition of creative is, or creation in general. Like,
Creative. Someone that is bringing perspective to something that the world doesn't truly understand yet. I guess that's like my outtake on creative and like, what I think is like my genius as a creative. I think like one of the things about me is I try to create moments that transcend bringing back what I seen growing up, like the way that masculinity and femininity was played on in the 80s, with men wearing platforms and just the era where there were shoulder pads and there was just all of these different silhouettes that men would embody. And we live in an era now in the new generation where things are a little bit different. People have their own way of doing things, but a lot of my inspiration is definitely from the 80s and the 90s. I'm a 90s baby, so yeah.
I was just about to ask you my age. I was like, aren't you the same? We all the same age. I'm definitely a 90s
Are we the same age?
You a 93?
No, I'm a 90s baby, like a true 90s.
You're 90s?
Yes.
Oh, I'm 92, so...
Okay, yeah, yeah. Exactly. But yes, I'm 31.
Okay, alright.
Yeah.
You can say your age.
Oh yeah, I feel great. Listen, it literally took me to turn 30 years old to just like really change my perspective on life, change my perspective on my day-to-day interactions, change my perspective on how I see myself in the world. So, it's amazing to be 31, especially in this era of time where so many people have lost their lives due to COVID and, other things, health complications, natural deaths, whatever. But, it's just a blessing to still be amongst the living.
Definitely is. Yeah. Okay. One thing that I always had misconstrued, or I thought, and I don't know if you get this too, about the dance show that Naomi was on.
Oh yeah, on America's Best Dance Crew.
I always get the fact that I thought you came off the show. I don't know why. In my head, I seen you on there, and you're telling me.
I mean, it's very interesting. You're not the first person, but no, I was not a part of America's Best Dance Crew. However, Naomi is my house mother. She's one of my mentors. She means the world to me. Yeah, so that's kind of my connection to Naomi.
And shout out to Naomi. She ate up her fashion, savage, fancy. She ate that. Yeah, so I'm happy we got that like relinquished. We know that he was not on
America's Best Dance Crew. No, I wasn't on America's Best Dance Crew.
Okay. Just in the house. And which house is that you said?
Oh, I'm actually in the house of Amazon. It's my mother's house. Yeah, be looking out for us in 2022. We about to get ready to hit the floors again. Okay. Well, I'll be hitting the floor for the first time, actually.
Oh, you telling me something? Oh, I don't know if I can reveal secrets and stuff like that. We're not going to do that.
Oh, no. The people can know. Yeah, I mean, I will be coming and I will be debuting soon. 2022.
I'm here for that. Remember the little people like me when you guys. So, where does free time come into? Do you ever have free time? I feel like I always see you working.
I feel like I don't really have a lot of free time, but when I do have free time, my free times consist of work as well in a certain capacity, right? Because like even if I have off days, I'm still trying to strategize like what is coming up for like the upcoming weeks for work or the upcoming months for work. And so I'm never really off. And it's exciting, it's refreshing, but at the same time, like I have learned in this era of time is that I need to find a way to balance it all, because it's not a lot of balance right now in my life. It's kind of chaotic, which is cool because I'm single and because I'm just doing what I need to do to navigate and like go to the next level. But at a certain capacity, I have to find a little bit more structure. I have to find a little bit more balance as well. So
yes, Mr. Jack of all trades, Jack, because you're everywhere with fashion game and being a costume designer, being a visual artist, being just everything that you do. I feel like it's like it's the same, like in the same rooms kind of.
Yeah, no, I mean they the thing about it is like I mean it all varies as well, because like the type of artist that I am is that I do a lot of things as far as other people that just specialize in one specific thing, and which is also equally amazing as well. I think for me, like starting my career, I started the sector of fashion in a very different way than most people. It wasn't your traditional way. It wasn't going to college. Yes, I went to school for fashion merchandising, but I already felt so connected to fashion that when I went to school for fashion, I felt like I didn't need to be there because I already knew the essentials of what they were teaching me. So I didn't really feel like I needed to be there. It was like, okay, y'all are teaching me something that I already know. This is a waste of time. And I really did choose my career over school. And, you know, I'm very thankful that I did that because I don't have a degree. But I can say that I'm a seasoned, you know, fashion industry vet that has been doing this for 12 years. And it's crazy for me to still wrap my mind around, you know, thinking that it's been that long. But it's been a long 12 years.
No, my thing is, it's always been about experience. So it's people go to college for over a certain amount of time and then come out with no experience, and then they're like working a nine. I mean, it's still a 9 to 5, but like working certain jobs that they didn't even go to school for. But so that's why if you're going to school, if you have a dream, make sure you're shooting for your dream first and then doing the school thing afterwards. Honestly,
and also just don't be discouraged. I think that it's very easy to like look at the world of entrepreneurship as this like end all be all, and at the beginning it can't be. You have to like find ways to strategize how to make it your everyday thing, and that takes time, that takes understanding, that takes era. And you know, it also is the way of the world where you just have to like find ways around the world telling you no. Because like I said earlier, the world is always telling us no. The world is always telling us, especially being black, the world is always like, you're too black, you're not good enough, you're too this, you're too that. But don't allow those things to interfere with your purpose and what it is that you see for yourself.
Definitely passion. And you're a passion. You're a water sign, right?
Yeah, I'm a water sign. I'm a Pisces.
Definitely. And the season.
March the 16th.
Okay. Period.
March the 16th. My birthday twin. Shout out Janae Aiko. Love you, beautiful queen. You're amazing. We love you. We love you. We love you, Janae Aiko.
I'm also a water sign, so in the season of Scorpio season.
Yes, I'm aware.
I feel like I definitely started my passion. I mean, I've been passionate, but
yeah, of course.
And I also have you to thank for like you've been one voice in the background.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Definitely.
I think that was for me with you is that, you know, and this is not just for you. I think this is just for everybody and everyone's purpose. I think that we all are destined for greatness. Everybody has greatness in them. Everybody has talent in them. Now, whether or not you decide to tap into that, whether you not decide to connect with that, it's totally up to you. Whether or not, you know, you choose that path, because it's all about the path, whatever path you decide in life, you know what I mean? But, you know, with the earlier conversations that me and you had about what you wanted to do, it's amazing to see that it's all come full circle, that, you know, post-COVID, you know, 2 years later almost, that, you know, you're doing exactly what you said. But it's also to play back what you said about manifestation as well. We manifest these things and we don't necessarily look at it when we're going through it, and he's preparing us for that moment. But, you know, manifestation is so powerful when the power
traveling. Traveling. Okay. So you're usually back and forth to New York City, to LA, to Paris. Can you tell me about that?
Oh yeah, I mean, so I like to believe that I live a very bi-coastal life, or at least that's what I want to aspire to live. Like, you know, living, you know, 3 months in, you know, South Africa, and then living like 3 months in Paris, and then living 3 months in LA, and then living the last 3 months in New York. That's the plan. It's something that I've always wanted, so I'm still pushing to get there, but eventually. Eventually,
so
soon.
You speak French?
Not really.
No.
I mean, I understand French a little bit. I took 4 years of French, but French is a very difficult language. You have to be fully enthralled into it in order to like really be well. No, I actually don't. I don't actually like Paris enough to want to speak French.
Okay.
But Paris is an amazing, beautiful, romantic city.
I want to visit it maybe when I'm in love, but until then. So I know that you're often around celebrities. Like, are you ever starstruck by anybody?
I don't think that I, at this level, have been starstruck. Only because I feel like for me, a lot of these artists want to be like not the center of attention in those cases when you're working so closely with talent, they just want a moment away from all of that. And so for me, it's about being able to take myself out of that space of like, a fan, and make it about the work, because it's about the work. And I never want a client to be uncomfortable because I'm being too much or I'm being too overwhelming. You know what I mean? Because again, it's easily you could be overwhelming to a certain degree versus being able to keep a level of professionalism. So that's always what I try to do. Yeah.
Listen, maybe I need to get it together because I think I would be starstruck by a couple of people.
I think the people that I would have been starstruck by are like no longer with us. Like Whitney Houston, I probably would have been like starstruck. I probably would have gagged. I probably would have cried. Prince, like, is still one of my favorite all time artists. Like the icon. Like, oh my God, just oozing of just talent. And of course, like Michael Jackson, and like, yeah, I never got a chance to meet any of them, but they still have a big play on like who I am as an artist. Like, you know, my key and eye, especially Michael Jackson. You know, like I used to watch his videos just so much, and like, you know, just think about how the wardrobe was constructed and the time and the energy that went into his costumes and the elaborateness to detail. And that's just who he was. From his music to the way that he dressed to the way that he planned his tours, like it was all a very great strategy. But I say that to say that, you know, we are also nothing without our team. You know, I'm nothing without the people that support me and support my ideals, like the photographers and the makeup artists and the hairstylists and the people that are the movers and the shakers, the models, that people that actually help make the project what it is.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah.
So, recently you were working on the Legends of the Street tour.
Yeah, I was working on the Legends of the Street tour with Little Kim.
Okay, styling Queen B.
Yeah, Queen B, the one and only, the icon, the legend, all of the things of the things.
Ooh.
That's who she is. That's it.
You're absolutely right.
I'm
in the heart of Brooklyn, so I'm not even going to even play these games. So.
Yeah, period.
You know, another pilot, actually. We're not even going to play these games. We know Little Kim did what she had to do.
She did.
Shout out to her. I'm in your city, so I'm in your borough, so shout out to you every single day. You also was working with Marcos. How was that? Did you work with Marcos? Marcos Addicted.
Oh, Addicted. Yeah, Addicted to Marcos. That's a really good friend of mine. I was able to get with him, and we created some amazing sketches that I basically brought to the attention of Little Kim, and you know, we were able to create a moment for her tour. Okay.
Because you don't play about work. Like, work is always, like I said, it's just...
I think it's just about, like, me knowing what I want. Like, I think that, like, I learned at a very, very young age, like I said, like, hard work is the only way to get what you truly want. And I think that people, especially in this era in time, are looking for like instantaneous gratification.
Definitely.
And you know, we live in this social world where everything is just like hot pocket.
Yeah.
No. It's not that it seems like it, because some people are getting these opportunities and it's like hot pocket. It's like boom, you know, overnight successes. But those stories don't last a long time. No, you know what I mean? They come and they go. Versus someone that has put the real work in and actually getting a chance to be able to reap the benefits from the energy and the time and the effort and the consistency and the persistency that has been put into the work.
Right.
Because that's really what it's all about.
No, for real. Is there anybody you have to thank for that? Like,
I have to thank my family first. Like, definitely shout out to my family. Shout out to God, of course. Like, I am nothing without, you know, my mentorship from my family, you know, the people that are super close to me, but also God. Like, you know, He is my spiritual advisor. He is the person that I go to and go through when I'm not able to connect with the world. And like I said, again, and I always say this, the world is constantly evolving and telling me that I'm not good enough. Even with what I create, even with what I do, even with what I've done, you know, the world is still telling me no, and I still have to choose myself.
And I just want to know, what's the most underwhelming thing about Paris's job?
One of the most underwhelming things about my job is expecting things to not be able to change. Like when you're on a set environment, like if you are somebody that's just tied to one ideal, like in the world that I live in, like my world changes and evolves by the seconds, by the moments, by the minutes. And so with that in mind, I cannot be focused on what is. I have to focus on what we are creating. And sometimes that space is very much so completely different than what we thought it was gonna be. You know what I mean? Whether that be the draping on the wall or the look, how the look came together. And I think that it's very interesting. Me as a creative, and I like to tell people my process. Like I am the type of artist that when I get clothes, I put them on. Like I try them on. Like women's clothes, men's clothes, because the thing about it is, it's different looking at something on a hanger and seeing how it feels versus putting it on and see how it lays, because you won't necessarily know a silhouette until you actually put it on. Yeah. That's when you see the form. That's when you see the way that it was created, the orchestration of it all. And so for me as an artist, and my artistry is breaking it down in that way. And I do that, and that's how I think a lot of times people say, oh, your work is so detailed. It's because I break every dynamic down all the way up to, it's not just about the hair. It's about the hair. It's about the makeup. It's about the actual wardrobe. It's about the detailing in the jewelry. It's about the shoes. It's about everything that builds up the moment.
Passion. I'm telling you, passion.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, that's it. Like I hope to see that in everybody. Honestly, if there was more passion in the world, like people wouldn't be working jobs that they just have to be getting paycheck to paycheck. So yes, I'm going to shout out your passion. Before I even move on past anything, this setup is set up because of. Like I wouldn't have this right here, like this.
Well, look, this is just me being like myself. Like I never want to step on anybody's toes, which is why I asked you. No. But I say that to say, like even me as an artist, I've put so much work in, I put so much time in, but I'm also somebody that still wants to make sure that everybody is accommodated. It's not just about me in these environments, which is why I asked you, oh, do you think it's okay if we use this, if we use that? Because, for me, it's about creating the space. Like this makes me feel comfort. I don't know who this artist is, but I find comfort in the painting, which is why I asked about it. You know what I'm saying? Which I found comfort in this because, again, this is sequence fabric. It's a very, very popular fabric, especially when you look on the runways right now in 2021. Everyone is wearing sequins. So it's just creating essence and beauty and moments, and beauty can be found in the most unique thing. So me as an artist, I look at the beauty in the world. Like, there's so much turmoil and so much negativity and so much darkness in the world, but there's also so much beauty in the world. The trees and the water and, just so many different dynamics. But that is who I am as a creative, and that's how I view my creativity and give it to the world.
And I think that's why you get everything you deserve. Like, you're on the passion you're on. Now, for real, the track that you're on, you literally came in here and did everything. Like, put this, you see, he spotted, there's pictures in this room, there's pictures, and he spotted this one, loved it. Asking about the colors, red, that was it. Today we're giving angels and demons. I always say that I get dressed for my guests, to be honest. So I was kind of just making sure I looked good. Like,
Oh, and see, like me, like this is just a typical work attire for me. Like I wear black all the time just because it's just easy, it's breezy, it's clean, easy, breezy, beautiful cover girl kind of energy. I'm all about that. And how I'm saying easy, breezy, beautiful cover boy. Because what are y'all waiting on? Why haven't y'all did that yet?
Okay.
No, I'm being for real though. Like, I'm still trying to.
So, another thing that is, so I feel like this is probably like a big, like one of the biggest accomplishments. Mind you, you've done it a couple of times. Magazine spreads.
Oh, magazine spreads. So I have done so many magazines over the years. I've been featured in Elle, I've been featured in Vogue, I've been featured in Essence, I've been featured in Obvious Magazine, I've been featured in Scone Magazine, Sheen Magazine.
The list goes on.
There's a lot of magazines that I have been featured in. So that's always super, super exciting to be able to, bring my creativity to the table and, inspire and be inspired.
That's all of it. That's you. Like I said, you do Don't let nothing stop. You just keep talking about these no's and all this other stuff. This is an advocate for getting through those no's, breaking down those doors, making sure he leaves his mark. Do you plan on leaving your mark here? Definitely.
I mean, I feel like I'm working on it. I feel like people know who I am, but there's still
Okay.
so much work to be done. And when I say so much work to be done, I'm not saying like in the forefront, because it's not about me. It's about like the moment that I'm creating for the generation to come after me, and you know, the people that I'm continuing to try to aspire and that I am inspiring through my story.
You inspire a lot. I know that. So
I appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate that. That means so much. Well, we are inspiring each other. All of us are inspiring each other in some way. Because I'm inspired by you. I'm inspired by the fact that you are doing what you said that you were going to do, you know, all of those years ago. We are, and the inspiration is how we continue to build a ladder.
Yeah, that's making my day. Well, I definitely want to say thank you.
Of course.
Keeping it real with me.
It's always about keeping it real or nothing at all. So,
this is Monsieur Parie. He's
Monsieur Parie, the one and only.
And he's Monsieur Parie. He's an artist.
Oh, and I'm sensitive about my shit.